This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by the IBF World Super-Middleweight Champion Caleb Plant out here in the beautiful and sunny Las Vegas. Caleb, how are you keeping?
Doing well, doing well.
It's good to hear. There's a lot going on with yourself. Your name is cropping up a lot now. A lot of talk about a potential undisputed bout with Saul Canelo Alvarez. But before we come on to that, obviously he was out most recently against Billy Joe Saunders. I just want to start there. What did you make of his victory against Billy Joe?
He did well. You know, he did what he had to do, and you know, I felt like I had it 5-3 before it ended, and I gave Billy the first round. Canelo wasn't really doing much. Kind of gave Canelo the next couple of rounds, and then towards the end, Billy started settling in and kind of, you know, dictating the pace, and like I said, just started settling in and starting to do his thing a little bit more. But shortly after, he ran into a shot, and that was all she wrote. So.
That's something I want to touch on, the shot which kind of stopped the fight, Billy Joe not coming back out for the 9th round. What did you make of that? Was you surprised? Was you expecting to see him come back out?
You know, I was. But with his eye swelling up, you know, I didn't know if it was like a broken orbital bone or anything of that matter. So, you know, I didn't want to speak too quickly on, you know, just saying things that before I should or before anyone else should. You know, you don't know what it's like to have a broken orbital bone, and unless you have and you've fought through that, then how can you call somebody else a quitter when you've never been in that situation? So, but, you know, I guess this corner felt like it was in their best interest to pull the fight. It wound up being a broken orbital bone, so it probably was. So that's it.
Does that just show how kind of tough and demanding the sport can be, especially from the fans towards the fighters? We found out afterwards it was the broken orbital bone, but in the immediate aftermath, before we knew that, there was immediately people saying Billy Joe was quitting and what have you. Does that just show how demanding the fans are about the entire situation?
I mean, it's not even about being demanding. It's just how big of dumbasses people are. You know what I'm saying? People who never been in that situation. You know, most of them ain't even been in a street fight, much less, you know, have 73,000 fans, you know, screaming at you and, you know, under the gun, really. And, you know, for people to just be talking about things that they know nothing about, you know, in my eyes, the definition of that is a dumbass. So.
Caleb, you said to me you had it 5-3 at the point when Billy Joe never came back out. So with that in mind, I imagine you saw some weaknesses you could exploit of Canelo's. What did you see of his performance that makes you gives you rather so much confidence that you can be the man to defeat him?
Well, it's not just so much as one fight, you know, because things can change from fight to fight. But, you know, over the course of his career, or anybody's career, you know, just seeing things that I feel like that I can capitalize on, things that I'm better at, things that I possess and hold over him that I feel like I'm better at. And so, you know, this last fight was just kind of a reiteration of that. So.
Do you think size could play a difference between the pair of you if the fight does get over the line and the pair of you meet?
Yeah, I mean, that's one factor. You know, that's not the determining factor, but that is a factor. You know, I'm taller than him, I'm longer than him. I'm taller than Billy Joe. I'm longer than Billy Joe. I'm stronger than Billy. You know, so just because he was able to do those things to Billy doesn't mean that he's able to do those things to me. So.
I know you won't want to give away a game plan, but let's say if a pair of you are in the ring, you stood across from each other. How would you imagine the fight playing out?
Well, me getting my hand raised and becoming the first undisputed super middleweight of all time.
With the fight itself, have talks begun at all? Do you know of any conversations, early conversations that may have taken place?
Yeah, I think our teams are, you know, going to sit down here real soon and see what we can get figured out. You know, this is something I really want. This is a fight that I want, and it's also being able to become undisputed, which is something that I've always dreamt of. And so again, like I said, I think our teams are going to sit down here real soon and get it worked out.
Caleb, you yourself being with PBC, Canelo's a free agent, which does make it easier, but Eddie Hearn has said that himself, Matchroom, DAZN, that will put an offer together for you guys to consider. Would yourself and PBC be happy if that offer was better than what they could produce? Would they be happy to see you boxing over on DAZN with Matchroom?
I mean, again, I think our teams will sit down here real soon. I'm sure that DAZN and Eddie will be putting off an offer, and of course it's something that's going to have to be looked at. That's what happens in negotiations. And but you know, I have my team for that. I got a great team. There's no one who does it better than Al Heyman. There's no better manager than Luis de Cubas, and they've done a perfect job with me thus far. I don't see anybody with 21 fights in the position that I'm in, with or without the Canelo fight. So you know, they've done right by me so far, and I follow their lead when it comes to the negotiations and, you know, getting a fight made.
Undisputed title success, Caleb. What would it mean to yourself?
It would mean everything to me. I mean, boxing is my whole life. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, your life is all you have. You know, I have sacrificed everything for this. I've dedicated my whole life. I've lived by the book. I've done this by the rules, and man, I've sacrificed a lot to be here, and I worked really, really hard to be here. And any of my peers that have ever seen me train, you can ask them the same. They'll tell you that, you know, nobody works harder than me. So I really want this, and you know, I'm sure we're going to be able to make it happen.
Another name I just wanted to get your thoughts on is David Benavidez. I know you were just briefly asked about him there, but your thoughts on his recent comments with regards to yourself?
Well, I hadn't seen him, but, you know, with him explaining to me what he said, I guess calling me a pussy. Like I said in there, you know, I was man enough to hold up my end of the deal, you know, my end of the bargain for trying to get that fight made. And when we was trying to get it made, him and his promoter was trying to hold off and say, no, there's not enough money involved yet. There's not enough, we need to wait longer. There's even a video of Fred doing an interview with Samson, and Samson saying it himself. It's on my Instagram. Them saying, no, we need to wait. That fight needs to wait longer. And we were trying to make it happen. But then he wasn't able to hang on to his belt, and then all of a sudden he loses his belt, and it's like I'm the one ducking him, or I'm scared to fight, or I'm not a man enough to do this or man enough to do that. I'm man enough to hold up my end of the deal and my end of the bargain, and that's what men do. And I'm man enough to not do cocaine when I know that that's not the life that I should be living. I'm man enough that even when it starts to get hard to make weight, that I continue on and I make sure I make weight. You know, nobody else on that card missed weight. So why is the bubble an excuse for him? Maybe he's a pussy. Matter of fact, when I smacked his brother in this gym right here, he didn't do anything. All he did was stand there like a big fat pussy. He didn't do anything. So if I'm such a pussy, why didn't he pull the trigger then? He's just standing there looking at me with his dick in his hand. And that's a fact.
Caleb, do you think at some point the pair of you will cross paths?
I hope so. We've tried to make that fight more than once, and each time they didn't want to make it happen, and then all of a sudden, you know, I have my eyes set on this goal that's way bigger than him or anything him and his team has going on, and now all of a sudden, because I'm focused on that and I have bigger fish to fry, it's like all of a sudden I don't want to fight him, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But I'm not looking to accomplish what everybody else wants me to accomplish. I'm not looking to do what everybody else wants me to do. I'm looking to accomplish the goals that I set out for myself. A long time ago, before any of you knew me, before any of y'all had this mic in my face, I'm looking to accomplish those goals that me and my dad set. And I'm going to stick to that.
Just to move away from yourself, Caleb, I just want to get your thoughts on another big talking point that broke yesterday. Deontay Wilder winning his arbitration case with regards to the Tyson Fury Trilogy bout. What have you made of that entire situation?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what was in their contract, but obviously whatever was in their contract held up in a court of law. So, I mean, you know, there's nothing for me to say or do about it. You know, that's for them to figure out. So,
Caleb, I just want two final messages from you before I leave you to enjoy the rest of your day and obviously get on with your training session. Firstly, a message to your fans, whether they be here, back in the UK, wherever they are around the world.
Man, just God bless y'all. I love you guys. I appreciate all your support. You guys have been riding with me for a long time, through a lot of ups and a lot of downs. And just hang on, because we're getting close to everything that we work for. And like I said, I just appreciate you guys.
And finally, a message to Saul Canelo Alvarez.
I'll see you soon, man. That's it.
Caleb, thank you for your time, and thank you, Speed to Boxing Social.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.